I always knew that I would lose my virginity in a church storage room. What was that?
You're just a bunny, doofus.
So cute.
Oh, man!
When I came across the trailer for this one, I could already see that the effects would not wow me. But it could still be a charming movie. But truth be told, my main thought was that this will make for a great review to drop on Easter, no matter which way it will ultimately go. So, which direction did it took? Hi there, it's Micha. Join me for a few minutes to find out. Somewhere in a small town in Texas, a series of killings that started on Good Friday is not only threatening the lives of the locals, but also their upcoming celebration. Something that the residential mean girl Mary Lou wouldn't stand for.
That's not the enthusiasm I'd expect the week of Easter Palooza!
Meanwhile, Jeannie, our main character, has her own problems because her husband is missing, which no one seems to take seriously. Not only is the sheriff laughing it off, he also suggests that he may be the perpetrator behind the killings.
My guess is a bear by the size of it. Unreal. I mean...
I think he's in trouble.
I think your husband is the trouble.
After hearing a seemingly crazy story from Sam, the local conspiracy theory nut that most of the townfolk ridicules, Jeannie and her best friend Carol start their own investigation. According to Sam, the killings are the doing of a jackalope, a mythical creature that is, like its portmanteau name suggests, half jackrabbit and half antelope. So basically a big bunny with antlers. In this movie it is a werewolf-like creature, a person that can morph into a human-sized beast that walks on two legs and which can control all regular rabbits, turning them into their minions.
I hate you.
I hate you and your filthy little paws.
However, you do not turn into a jackalope by being bitten, but by biting another jackalope. As they find out, the town was already subjected to a jackalope in the past, 150 years ago, which leads them to the oldest building in town, the church, the place where the first murders took place.
Poor, horny dead kids.
There they find the diary of that first jackalope and its taxidermized head, presenting traces of someone having taken some bites out of it. So someone purposefully turned themselves into that monster. But who is it? Is it Jeannie's husband, as many in town suspect? Or is it Jeannie herself, who often finds herself waking up in strange places without any memory of it? Which could be either a side effect of being a jackalope, or just a result of her sleep deprivation and alcohol intake. Or will mean girl Mary Lou end up being the culprit? Or are these all just red herrings? Well, let's stop the synopsis here, so you can find out yourself if you opt to watch this movie. As mentioned in the intro, I was fully aware that this movie could go every which way. The trailer already made clear not to expect great special effects, and the visuals in general and the acting seemed to be on more of an amateur level. Overall, I got the vibe of a movie adjacent to the Critters franchise, though not the first of them, more akin to one of the cheesy sequels, but on an even lower budget. However, let me start by saying that I was positively surprised by the acting and the camera work, as both turned out to be pretty solid. Of course, nothing Oscar-worthy, duh, but far better as originally expected, in the proper middle to lower B-movie range. But the creature effects were as anticipated, meaning really cheaply done. But regarding the small critters, it actually came across as kinda charming, while the man-sized creature was quite laughable. On the upside, at least they didn't utilize cheap CGI and went with practical effects. The very few splatter sequences, especially the wounds, were also fairly well done, though their impact was often undermined by the addition of CGI blood splatter that looked totally unconvincing. Well, there you go. I guess they just couldn't resist. The big main rabbit attack sequence, however, was filmed in a weird way that made the puppets appear even cheaper than they looked before, with the actors basically just holding stuffed animals to their body. But hearing the famous Wilhelm scream in the middle of it all made me smile again. Of course, there were also many screenplay issues, like ultimately no explanation for the blood in the husband's car, and the introduction of a character, a local, who chases the creature with no real rationale and backstory given. The identity of a jackalope was also pretty quickly apparent, though that person's motivation turned out to be different from the more obvious rationale I had in mind. And there was an unnecessary end gag that also led nowhere and was followed by 9 minutes of some of the slowest crawling credits I ever saw. With all that, I was still fine. Much was to be expected, many issues I had already anticipated, and overall, it was not a bad movie. My main complaint, however, is this. While the movie started out quite entertaining, it turned out quite long-winded in the middle, almost getting boring. Instead of having fun with its own cheesy premise, all of a sudden there were lengthy moments of drama, where Jeannie doubts herself and ponders over her husband's disappearance. It felt as if the movie all of a sudden started to take itself seriously. Fortunately, that wasn't true for the entire remainder of the movie, but with 104 minutes of runtime, they could have easily trimmed off 15 to 20 minutes. One last call out. I never heard of a jackalope before, but as it turned out, that is based on a real myth that was then supported by some clever taxidermists putting antlers on rabbit heads. However, they are not much larger as actual rabbits. For sure not human-sized, and the shape-shifting element was also added by the movie and is not part of a lore. And with that being said, let's get to the rating. Let's keep it short and simple. If you have no issue with low or closer to no budget movies and can forgive smaller plot holes and some storytelling inconsistencies, then you can give this movie a go. If you can't enjoy a movie with a guy in a cheap large bunny costume, then you should stay away. Personally, I think that with a more consistent screenplay that truly and fully leaned into its own goofiness, and with more creativity while staging, filming and editing the creature effects, this one could have been an entertaining enough flick to get a score of at least 5 or 6 out of 10 points. As it is, I still consider it an okay movie, and I do not regret having watched it. And I guess you can already see where that leaves us. I'm rating this one with 4 out of 10 points, with a slight upwards tendency. If you are looking for an entertaining enough Easter-themed horror movie that actually doesn't offer that much horror to watch on Easter, and if you are fine with the caveats I highlighted, then consider this one. What about you? Are you interested in watching this one? Have you seen it already and got a different take on it? How do you feel about no-budget creature effects? Whatever you like to share, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share or subscribe. So much for now, see you next time, and thanks for watching. The local conspiracy theory nut that most of the townfolk ridicules? A mythical creature that is, like its portmanteau name, and which can control all regular rabbits.